Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Welcome to another episode of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. I do have another list of news articles to go through, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. Good news, Amiibo collectors. If you happen to miss Marth last fall, you're going to get another chance in about 2 months. The Nintendo Facebook page has given us a release window for the figure's return to retail. You can expect him to arrive in late April. We recommend that you jump on him if you see him up for pre-order, as this second wave will likely get swallowed up by scalpers quickly. There's also no guarantee that there will be any more after this wave is done. Marth's re-release is due to the figure's capability with codename Steam, which is out on March 13th. In addition to Marth, Ike and other Fire Emblem characters can be added to Intelligent Systems' upcoming title via Amiibo. Right now you need a new 3DS. However, Nintendo says it is planning an external Amiibo reader for legacy systems. This is great news for Amiibo collectors, especially ones who want to get their hands on the Marth figure. Well, assuming they'll be able to. I mean, there's going to be some people who will be jumping all over the chance of getting another Marth figure and probably, sell it for a shit ton of money. But this release is being done because of the lack of Marth figures and, the popularity of it, plus also the codename Steam game coming out. Now, they also said that there's supposed to be some kind of, external Amiibo reader thing for, legacy systems like maybe the 2DS and the original 3DS, 3DS XL, to maybe, release some, cards to just read the figures that way. To me, I'm glad to hear that they are trying to re-release Marth. It just makes me wonder if they would try to re-release some of the other two impossible ones to find from the first wave, the Villager and the Wii Fit Trainer. But then again, it probably does take them a long while to actually make these figures, so it just depends. I mean, right now there has been some issues with, I think, was it the current wave that was supposed to be released with the Mega Man and Sonic figures, that some stores have barely gotten them because of some kind of strike that happened, along with some new 3DSs that barely reaches store shelves. I hope Nintendo does do more production on these figures and, make some more of them so that not everyone is totally screwed out of the figures. Nintendo likely has little interest in creating Amiibos for many non-Nintendo, non-video game characters, but that doesn't mean fans can't dream. A fan-created Goku Amiibo was posted by a user Spade21X on the Amiibo subreddit, and is another addition to the growing culture of Amiibo modifiers. The last Dragon Ball game to release on a Nintendo console in North America was Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo on Wii in 2009. There was, however, Dragon Ball Heroes Ultimate Mission 2 that released for 3DS in Japan last year. To me, the biggest mistake Nintendo has done with the Smash Bros. Game that came out for the Wii U and 3DS was not have a Dragon Ball Z character. Yeah, you heard me. I said that. I am a Dragon Ball fan. I'm a video game fan. I'm a gamer. I like both. I like Dragon Ball Z. Yes, I'm going to say this, I kinda like the GT. Kinda. Not totally. But I'm also a gamer, and I realize that Nintendo and whatever company helped them with the Super Smash Bros. Could have had a huge opportunity to bring in, say Goku. But no. They want to focus on only video game characters. And, they were specific saying, we're only going to use video game characters. Well, last I checked, they made video games of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So, yeah, they could have used characters from that franchise. But no, everyone was all in a tight fit, being assholes and stuff like that. It's like, no, guys, seriously, shut the fuck up. It's not that hard for them to put in Goku. But no, instead we have to have these hacks and mods where people made their own Super Smash Bros. Type games where you can actually play as Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball characters. Instead of Nintendo actually doing something right for once. I mean, seriously, how freaking hard can it be for them to create additional character or characters to throw in the video game? I mean, look how easy it is for the people who make these modified Super Smash Bros. Games. It's not that fucking hard. If you purchase both the Wii U and 3DS versions of Super Smash Bros., we hope you registered them with Club Nintendo. If you did, you'll be receiving something in the mail soon. The 2-disc Smashing soundtrack includes 36 tracks from each of the versions. While game manuals might be a fading memory, the jewel case includes a slick, minimalist track list with a brief linear notes from series director Matsuhiro Sakura. This project weaves together much of Nintendo's musical history with the works of many veteran composers and musical arrangers. And I think you will find a great deal of value in it, he writes. Given that there are 72 tracks and it was entirely free, we tend to agree. Well, for one, it's actually March now, and two, I think that's when they said they were going to be releasing the soundtracks for the Smash Bros. Game. Was going to be in March, especially if you had actually registered both the Wii U and the 3DS version on the Club Nintendo website. I'm glad to hear that these are finally getting mailed out, and people should be getting them soon, because I know I'll be keeping an eye on my mailbox. But then again, I've ordered so many things recently, I'm going to be keeping an eye on my mailbox anyway. But this is one thing. One of the two things that was going to be bonus for free for people who registered both versions of Smash Bros. The other thing is supposed to be the Mewtwo download code for both the 3DS and the Wii U. The question is if they'll get around to releasing that code, if it's going to be, given to you by email or something, especially between now and when they'll finally completely shut off the Club Nintendo. Nintendo has already let us play as both Fierce Dendy, Link, and Tingle in Hyrule Warriors DLC, but in what might be the best downloadable content pack yet. Players will soon be able to peck and scratch their enemies to birdseed by playing as a giant Cucco. The next Hyrule Warriors DLC, called the Boss Pack, includes a new game mode and will let players jump into the shoes of Ganon. But he's not the only new playable character. You can also call him a giant chicken, but it's not because he's afraid of a few hundred enemies. Seriously, don't scoff at this guy, just watch what happens when Link angers him. So, you can now play as a giant Cucco in Hyrule Warriors in the upcoming Boss Pack DLC. Technically that sounds more like a boss that you battle. But I'm guessing that Nintendo has actually put this in here just for fun because of how many fans have actually had fun trying to kill all those little chicken cuckoos. I think I've seen some actual footage out there of people trying out this giant Cucco. It looks like fun. It's probably going to be easy to play as this giant chicken, but to me it makes more sense just for you to actually fight it as a boss. Last year, Toei Tecmo and Omega Force teamed up with Nintendo to create Hyrule Warriors. The mashup combined the Legend of Zelda lore with Dynasty Warriors gameplay. Square Enix has announced a new Musou mashup. Dragon Quest Heroes will be arriving this year in the West on PlayStation 4. Dragon Quest series creator Yuji Horii and series composer Okuchi Sakiyama are attached to the project. The title will be released later this year. The title was first announced during Square Enix's TGS conference alongside a special edition slime-covered console. So a while back, it was announced that there was a Dragon Quest Heroes game that was coming out that combined the Dragon Quest, I guess, lore with Dynasty Warriors gameplay. Kind of like how they did the Hyrule Warriors. Well, now it is coming over here to the US, coming to the West, for the PlayStation 4. I probably will be curious to see how this actually plays out. I was a fan of the Dynasty Warriors series. I did get to try Hyrule Warriors. It was interesting to a certain point. You know, fans of the Dragon Quest series along with the Dynasty Warriors series will be interested in this once it comes out here in the US. So that does it for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. Later on, I will have the separate clips up if you want to check those out. Down below, I will have the Facebook link if you want to check that out. But also now, there is an email address. Yes, you fans who are watching or listening to this episode can actually send me emails if you want. You know, if you have actual questions or comments about the episodes or the articles. So the email itself is actionvideogametalk@yahoo.com. I'll go and put that up on the screen as well. So until next time, bye.